the end of his journey. Candles and a tent. I should be following the candles, but I don't want to.
I sat here and watched two jets carve parallel white lines into the sky. They charted their course, and I followed them for 21 minutes until they turned off near Sanford and were lost. If I were a gull, I would abandon my nest and join them. I would starve my brain of oxygen and suffer delusions of transcendence. I would tear the bottom from my boat and sail across the motorways until I reached this island once again.
Is that a diagram to do with a car, do you reckon? I don't know. The beacon's above me. Is that where I need to go? Oh, there's a cave up there. I want to go up there. Can I get back? Do you reckon? I hope so. All the way back around. Paintbrushes. No. Oh. I remember him speaking about carving white lines into the cliff. Which can be... Oh no, that looks like paint. What's that? Where's the lighthouse? I want to go forward. I'm scared. I was relaxed, but now I'm scared. Should I do it? It's going to let me. It's not going to let me. Come on, let me. Go forward.
Come back.
Oh. We're miles back. So I can't go in there then. Is that a house?
Of fire and soil, I chose fire. It seemed the more contemporary of the options, the more sanitary. I could not bear the thought of the reassembly of such a ruin. Stitching arm to shoulder and femur to hip, charting a line of thread like traffic stilled on a motorway, making it all acceptable for tearful aunts and traumatized uncles flown in specially for the occasion. Reduce to ash, mix with water, make a phosphorescent paint for these rocks and ceiling.
That's making me believe that Esther's already dead. And that it is a lighthouse story. That I've mixed Esther's ashes to make fluorescent paint. And then done all this? Maybe? I'll check in there in a minute. What the fuck? Is that a person? That is freaky. What are these? Pictures of the car crash. It's like a shrine. Is it gone? Defibrillator. So strange. That ghostly figure. As much as it made me jump when I saw it, it's actually quite relaxing to see. It's like somebody watching over, like a guardian angel. I'll check that in a minute. A young picture of Esther, maybe? Where is it? Still there. Bits of car. What the fuck is that noise? What the fuck is that noise? Fuck. Seriously guys, you have no idea how scared I am of noises.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
So Paul was the drink driver, not me. and a light from heaven shone around him. This sounds even more depressing than I was hoping for, because this sounds almost like Esther died, Paul's alive, and me, the narrator, has come to spread the ashes on the island. Yet, I've got a feeling I'm going to kill myself soon. I think I'm going to go up to that mountain where the ghost was and jump.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
21 pieces. A lot of 21s. Heart on an invalid passport. Are they all unique? I'm not going to sit here and read all of them, but... I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get any sense out of trying to read these. If I was ever to make it back to the mainland, I think what happened a long time ago, actually. An awful long time ago. And whatever's happened on this island, has the narrator hurt himself? But he feels lost and trapped. Going delirious off the infection. And he's about to kill himself. After writing down his memoirs, which were started by Dear Esther. On a sudden, light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. I'm right, Anna. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to kill myself. I wish there's something I could do to stop this. I wish there was some way. I think that's what's so special about... I really am hesitant to call this a game. But what's special is you're on a path that you can't change. You cannot do it, but you know eventually it was going to happen. There is no change in the story. You are on a path. And you start to figure out what's going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. Apart from assist him and move forward towards the inevitable. So dark and twisted. Yet so beautiful and calm. I believe the narrator, if my theory is correct, has accepted it. He's accepted he's going to die.
A sound of torn metal, teeth running over the edge of the rocks, a moon that casts a signal. As I lay pinned beside you, the ticking of the cooling engine, and the calling from a great height, all my mind as a bypass.
That sounded different. That didn't sound like the same voice. Ticking. So I was in the car with Esther. Esther was mine. And Paul killed you. Or killed her. But what about the beacon? Can I even get there? Some of the songs of angels, so maybe that's what that is to signify, a guardian angel.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. You can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
I heard a bird. When I went to the cliff, it signified the end, maybe? I don't want to jump. I'm not going to jump. Is that where the figure was? Where's the figure gone now? I'm just going to go back a little bit to see if that's where the figure actually was. I want the figure to appear again. Or has it gone away for good? Is that what the sound of the bird was? It's not gonna let me climb this, is it? No. I'm pretty sure that's where it was. And he was proceeding on his journey to the light. And that's where we're going. I'm going to climb to the top of it and jump off. I know it. We're near to Damascus. Did he eat? No.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
This is it, isn't it?
Bent back like a nail, like a hangnail, like a drowning man clung onto the wheel, drunk and spiraled, washed onto the lost shore under a moon as fractured as a shattered wing. We cleave, we are flight and suspended. These wretched painkillers, this form inconstant. I will take flight. I will take flight.
And it came to pass. It says, I made my journey. And forthcome will come. I'll read it.
I have dredged these waters for the bones of the hermit, for the traces of Donnelly, for any sign of Jakobsen's flock, for the empty bottle that would incriminate him. I have scoured this stretch of motorway 21 times, attempting to recreate his trajectory, the point when his heart stopped dead and all he saw was the moon over the Sanford Junction. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all, and it was not his fault. It was the converging lines that doomed him. This is not a recorded natural condition. The gulls do not fly so low over the motorway and cause him to swerve. The paint scored away from his car in lines like an infection, making directly for the heart.
So it wasn't Paul's fault. He wasn't drinking. It was an accident. It was an accident. An accident which killed Esther. And I wanted to blame him. I came into Damascus. Goodbye, guys.
We will leave twin vapor trails in the air, white lines etched into these rocks. Dear Esther, I have burned the cliffs of Damascus. I have drunk deep of it. My heart is my leg, and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love. come back.